And her first trip, Laura in Las Vegas. We're talking about ice cream, things going on the Strip, the Bellagio, how is Las Vegas now, and a site visit to the brand new Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Hi, Laura. So happy to have you today. And I'm really excited to hear more about your very recent trip to Las Vegas. I haven't been there in quite a while. You had a great site inspection and the whole experience. So what can our listeners learn if you're planning Las Vegas right now, coming from Los Angeles? What should you know? How did you go?
Okay, so I'm so excited to tell you guys all about my recent trip. So I flew in from LAX to McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. Everything was very easy. Security was really quick. It is definitely more crowded at the airport now than from what I've heard, how it used to be about a few months ago, probably. But you're still supposed to wear your mask, obviously, in all public areas. But everyone was really good about that. So they really make sure that everyone is safe. So when I arrived in Vegas, I was looking for the ground transportation signs because I had not booked a car. So I was hoping to catch an Uber or a Lyft, obviously. So one thing to know if you're arriving at McCarran Airport is that you should look for the blue connector line, which kind of takes you to a parking lot area. And this is there are different levels, so it depends on from which level you arrive in Las Vegas. So that depends on which kind of level of the parking garage you have to choose to catch your Uber or Lyft. Once you found your way to the blue line connector, it's pretty easy. So there are signs explaining everything. You just order your Uber and then or your Lyft, and then you kind of get a spot assigned, and then the driver will text you once he is in that spot, and then you just go there and take your first ride. So that was a pretty easy process for sure.
And here in Los Angeles, we had a lot of news reports about Uber and Lyft taking longer. Not as many drivers are working. Lots of people want them again. And also increased prices, that the rates have jumped a lot. And I've heard that from travel professionals in other parts of the country, like Chicago, Philadelphia, Miami. How long did it take to get one? And did you notice a big difference in the rate?
So for sure, I have been noticing big differences in the rates. So like from when I remember, especially when Uber and Lyft started like a few years ago, it's like not comparable at all anymore. So I was very lucky that I actually had a friend who could drop me off at the airport. So I kind of did not have to catch a ride going to the airport. To go back, like once you arrive back from your destination, you actually have to take a shuttle bus to a specific space assigned for Uber and Lyft pickup. For me, it was quite quick that the shuttle bus came. I did hear though that sometimes it can take a long time. I came back really early in the morning, so I kind of had a little bit of a wait once I ordered my Uber from that specific area. And it definitely did take some time. However, I guess it really depends on how crowded it is too, with regard to the wait times. The overall pricing was definitely much higher. So I paid about more than $20 for about not even, I think, a 3-mile trip. Wow. So so there has definitely been a big price increase. So my recommendation is, if you have a chance, have somebody drop you off. Pickup is not really that easy anymore either, but like at least if you could save yourself the cost for going to the airport, I would definitely recommend that.
And Las Vegas, on the contrary, is really geared towards tourism only. You took Uber, you took rideshare over there as well. How did that work? Was it still like it used to be, or what have you noticed in Vegas about rideshare programs?
So the rideshare programs, like going from a hotel to a different hotel on the strip, for example, I think the prices are still pretty decent. What you have to look out for is that each hotel has specific pickup areas. So it's not like you can just decide, okay, I'm in this spot now. I don't want to walk anymore. I want to get like my Uber to pick me up right here. That doesn't work. So always make sure to kind of plan a little in advance to check out where the designated pickup and drop off area for a specific hotel you're close at is. Because you obviously want to avoid the Uber having to wait for you for like 5 or 10 minutes because you still don't know where to go, or like maybe even then leaving you there. So that's not the goal. So definitely plan with some time in advance. I did notice that the pricing going like from the strip to maybe like an outside hotel, or going from the airport to an outside hotel, or the other way around, is definitely also higher than it used to be. But I feel like it's still not as crazy as it is in LA right now. So unless it's a prime time airport ride, I think like pricing is definitely still more reasonable in Vegas than it is in LA.
Ah, that's good to know. And tip for those who are looking for those rideshare pickup spots on the strip, they're on the side and back entrances because nobody's allowed to catch a ride on the strip itself. So you always look for those rideshare signs. And in some hotels, you have to go downstairs, you have to go to the bus zones, etc. So look for those signs inside of the hotel lobbies and hotel hallways. So what properties did you get to see? When you arrived, where did you head?
So I first headed towards the Linq Hotel when I arrived because they have a nice promenade close by. So I kind of arrived pretty early, so around like pretty early for Vegas, like 10 a.m. in the morning. So like a lot of
nighttime.
Yeah.
People are still sleeping.
Yeah. So like a lot of restaurants and eateries and stuff hadn't really opened yet. Obviously the hotels and the gaming areas and all that was open, but that's not where I was headed. So I really like to check out the promenade right next to the Linq Hotel. So there are like some nice smaller spots to get some food. So actually the first thing I had that morning was like an ice cream sample. So as you will know, as you will get to know, I'm a huge ice cream fan. So I will definitely show you the best ice cream like shops everywhere I go. So there was kind of, a nice coincidence, because that was the only actually like food establishment that was already open at that time. So definitely like some smaller food places like dessert shops. There's also a store of Honolulu Cookie Company, great cookies. If you've ever been to Hawaii, like they're famous for them. And there are not a lot of places you can get them at in the US outside of Hawaii. So that's definitely where I went to. There's also a really nice In-N-Out burger location if you're into burgers. And then another highlight I discovered later was a new Fish&Chips restaurant that had just opened up there. So that was definitely a great thing to discover. I walked obviously through the Linq Hotel which is really nice, just one of these standard Las Vegas hotels. And then also for the first time, actually, I went to the Flamingo, which is one of the oldest hotels in Vegas. And actually, for the first time, went into the garden area to see actual flamingos there. I wasn't quite aware that they actually had flamingos in the garden. So that was kind of something nice to discover, knowing that hotel for so long, but never actually having stepped foot in there. And yeah, so like from there on, I kind of like went back and forth on both sides of the strip. So I went to like Caesar's Palace, the Bellagio. So I really liked all the decor they put up at the Bellagio, and all like the great interior design. So there's this area in the hotel which actually has a little bit of a vibe like a jungle, like with fresh flowers and like great areas for taking pictures. So what was actually special at that time was that at the time I went, there had been a lot of graduations. So I saw a lot of people, taking like graduation photos in that specific area. And I really loved that. So at that time when I went, like a few weeks ago, in early June, Vegas had just dropped its mask mandate for vaccinated travelers. So I've been vaccinated more than 3 months now. However, I still kind of most of the time left my mask on in interior kind of spaces. But it was kind of mixed. Like some people had their masks on. I would say the majority didn't. But I mean, they did a great job. Like all the hotels did a great job with like extra sanitation measures and but it was really visible that people were really enjoying themselves again, being able to gather a little more than what had been possible in previous months. So that was definitely one of the great things to see there.
So Vegas pretty much opened. However, the pandemic is still ongoing. How busy was it? I mean, for us, Las Vegas is a hop, skip, and jump, so we go quite often. I haven't been since shutdown, but we're used to Vegas and how busy it can get. How busy is it compared to before the pandemic at this point? And is there still some distancing or other measures that are taking place, or how open is it?
So, I think in my opinion, it was, when I went, it was kind of comparable to how it was before the pandemic, at least like comparable to, let's say, like a weekday in Vegas, not necessarily the weekend. However, I did hear from one of the Uber drivers. I had asked about kind of what's new in Vegas, and how he kind of had perceived the whole situation and changes. He actually stated it had been so busy on Memorial Day weekend as he had not even seen it before the pandemic. So that must have been like a really big change to kind of when I came out, which was only a few days later. But yeah, that's like kind of what everyone said, that like Memorial Day weekend was like really, really crowded and busy. So I cannot attest to anything like any social distancing that might or might not have happened at that point. But like what I did notice is people were definitely like outside. Rarely anyone was still wearing a mask. And then inside also, like in a lot of the hotels, people kind of, had dropped their masks. I guess that's just what everyone needs to decide for him or herself, whether you're comfortable with dropping your mask in indoor settings. Again, I was not most of the time, but I am also naturally a very cautious person. I did have a good feeling about the sanitation measures, so there was hand sanitizer available, and people, still seemed, at least the staff seemed to be like, spread out and very aware of social distancing. I think for the travelers, the guests themselves, like it really depends, who you're going with and how, cautious or not cautious people still are.
And talking about staff, we've heard a lot about shortages in restaurant staffing, in hotel staffing, in other cities. That it's very hard for establishments to come back in hospitality because they just don't have the workers. Especially Hawaii has reported long waits in restaurants and they still have restrictions though. How does that happen in Vegas? How much staff was available? How smooth were operations?
So, from my experience when I went, Vegas actually felt pretty well staffed, I have to say. Like, I never felt like, oh, like this really seems like they don't have enough staff. I think, again, what also matters is how much they have still spaced out certain areas. So, what I can imagine, for example, at a front desk, they might just, have only 50% of people still working there because they want to keep the space in between each front desk agent. But then again, I think the level of commitment is just very high right now. So I was definitely very like positively surprised about how I was treated at the hotel. So everyone was super friendly, and yeah, I think the people who are working are really grateful to be working and to help you make great experiences in these great U.S. cities.
So definitely you would recommend Las Vegas if you're looking for a trip right now. It's a place where you can actually have fun and encounter good, consistent service. And then,
Sure.
of course, your personal preference level with mask or not mask is your personal preference and choice.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So again, like it did not seem too crowded at the hotels themselves. I would rather say it was more crowded outside on the strip. So I think, depending on which hotel you choose, and where you choose to hang out, you will be perfectly fine. If you rather want to mingle and be in crowds, then by all means, like spend time on the strip and see what's like going on out there. But yeah, I would definitely say if you choose a hotel that might even be a little bit off the strip, obviously that's probably a bigger bet at not having too many people around. But yeah, for sure, like you'll have fun no matter at which hotel or where in Vegas.
And now the highlight. I'm really curious to hear because you went to see a brand new hotel, a brand new property that just opened, the Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. Please tell me all about this property. You're the first one I know who's been there.
Yeah, it was great. We had known for so long that the former Hard Rock Hotel would be transformed into Virgin Hotel, and it was so great to see like the transformation completed. So basically, so Virgin Hotels Las Vegas is located kind of off the strip, but not too far off the strip. So I actually debated kind of walking there, but I was kind of at almost really like the opposite end of the strip. Because as I told you, I started out at like the Linq Hotel, Caesar's Palace, and that is quite a walk. So in the end, I opted for an Uber. That experience was pretty smooth. So the Uber could drop you off like right in front of the entrance. The entrance is gorgeous. Like it looks like so beautiful now, and like really sophisticated. So it has these like really warm colors, but then at the same time like that kind of traditional red that we know like from the Virgin Hotels brand. So yeah, like it was great to see how they kind of combined it. So when I stepped inside the hotel, so the first thing I noticed was kind of like the lobby bar, the bar at the Commons. So that one is like a beautiful bar. Like they kind of took up like the kind of this feeling of music by incorporating these like disc elements as some part of their like framing in the lobby area. So it's in a way it's very like gated. Even on the other hand, it's very open. Like it's you know, it's literally the first thing you see when you walk into the lobby of the hotel. So that was definitely a highlight to see like this bar that was so well placed. And then so the bar is on the right side if you walk into the hotel front entrance, and then on the left side you will find the reception desk. So that's where you check in. So I actually did not stay at Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, but again, I was so curious to check it out. So definitely for this area, for this front desk area, it was pretty spaced out. So I would say there were only maybe about 5 agents at the whole front desk, but you know it gave a good feel. Like it's very spacious, and like yeah, it's a very positive arrival experience. And yeah, so then obviously, of course, there's, you know, a gaming casino area also placed kind of as incorporated as part of the lobby area in the hotel. I didn't really spend too much time there, but you know, it looked inviting. I kind of directly went towards to check out the restaurants. So the first one that really caught my attention was Kassi Beach House, which is like an Italian inspired concept that had just opened up on Memorial Day weekend, so it was brand new. So when I walked, they have actually like you know, like a kind of like a specific check-in area for the restaurant too. So you have to kind of check in with the host. And so when I went there, I basically told her I would like to take a look at the restaurant. And I didn't even like mention that, you know, I work in travel and tourism. I just simply asked her whether I could take a look. And she actually like personally escorted me to the restaurant area, which was definitely great. Like, as I said, like the staff was really committed. In Vegas, I feel like, but also like that definitely gained some points at that restaurant. And yeah, so it's like a huge indoor space. They have all these nice wooden elements and like lots of like really well placed interior design elements. So it feels very cozy. They have a great bar, and they also have a great outdoor area, which is shaded. So it's like a bigger shaded area in the middle, then like the bar to the left, and then there are actually some cabanas to the right, which are not cabanas in the style to like lay down there, but just to, you know, to sit in a cabana setting at the restaurant. So I did ask, apparently it is possible to reserve these cabanas. However, of course, you have to plan in advance a little bit. So I actually dined at this restaurant like later that night, and I hadn't asked like for a cabana because it was only like 2 people. So I didn't want to take up like the space for 5 or 6, but we were like placed in like the outer area on like a longer table. So technically it's a communal concept. So they allow, you know, people kind of, I guess, if they're comfortable to even sit together on one table, but like we got our own table at that point. And yeah, like the dishes were just amazing. So I can like definitely recommend that. Like everything was very, well chosen. And a tip actually, if you're ever in Vegas and you're staying at Virgin Hotels or you just want to dine at Kassi Beach House, so they do have a special after 9 p.m. on Wednesdays where they basically offer you their pastas at 50% off, as well as full bottles and selected cocktails at 50% off.
Wow, that's a really good tip.
Yeah. So obviously subject to change. So please check the website if anything changed. But since it's so new, I think they're gonna hopefully have that offer for a while. So check it out Wednesday nights at Kassi Beach House. But Kassi Beach House is obviously not the only restaurant at Virgin Hotel. So there's also a Mexican place, which I was told I think I might have visited Hard Rock Hotel many, many years ago, but I do have to say I don't specifically remember which restaurants were in there. But apparently, this Mexican restaurant was already in there back when it was still a Hard Rock Hotel. However, they also have a really, really great space, big space indoors with like a bar placed in the middle, and then also an outdoor area. Same with like Kassi Beach House. They have a view kind of the pool area, which is located like in the middle courtyard of the hotel. So they get kind of this summer feeling and beach feeling from the pool, but at the same time, it's like it's shaded, and it'll be great like to go there with a bigger group. Like they do take group reservations, so both Kassi Beach House as well as the Mexican restaurant. And we will put the name of that in
the descriptions. Yes.
In the description. I can't remember at the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely like a second thing if you're in Vegas and you love Mexican food to check out that restaurant too. Especially definitely like for the great seating areas. So you do get a little bit of a breeze outside because they are kind of shaded.
That's a great concept, because that is missing in Las Vegas almost, because it gets so hot in Vegas in summertime. Almost everything is enclosed, and I'm always a little claustrophobic. For instance, Caesar's Palace has gorgeous restaurants, and so does the Venetian, but you're always locked in. And there's no fresh air whatsoever. It's 72 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius at all times, and the same lighting at all times. So having a real indoor-outdoor experience with natural air is actually a real advantage. And most times of the year, especially shaded, it should be very comfortable.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think they'll have great success with their restaurant concepts at the hotel, and like just walking through it. There are also like big meeting rooms. So if you're ever like considering coming with a bigger group, I'm sure it's possible to rent out these meeting rooms too. There was no one around I could actually ask, but again, I asked for the restaurant, so that's apparently like welcome to rent it out for bigger groups. And yeah, they also had a specific area apparently, which is used like for networking events, as far as I understood. But again, that's something. If you're interested, to just reach out to your personal travel professional, and then we'll make things happen for you.
And as far as character goes, in terms of vibe and ambience, how is the Virgin Hotels positioned in Las Vegas? Every hotel has sort of its own character and theme and vibe. Who would be really happy at this hotel?
So I would definitely say someone definitely like in their 30s, I would say, who already knows what he or she wants when going to Las Vegas, who might have already been, and knows, okay, I want like a cool hotel, but I maybe do not want to be like directly in the middle of the strip, and like when I walk out there'll be tons of people. This is not the case with Virgin hotels. So when you walk out of the entrance, like there's only like valet parking. Like there won't be thousands of people coming your way as if you're staying at the Cosmopolitan or the Linq or Caesar's Palace. So that's definitely an advantage. I do also see it to be kind of a hip hotel for even like younger people, so like early mid 20s. But again, not the ones who probably like want to party really hard. I think it has to be the right combination of getting great service, being able to like go to the casino, but then also still maintaining that relaxed and chill vibe. And definitely, I would also say, just from that concept with like these warm earth colors and like kind of this combination of being both disruptive with like their red like kind of signature color, as well as like combining it with these Italian vibes in a way. It definitely also speaks to older travelers,
yeah.
Older than maybe 35 or
like me. I've been 35 plus for a while. And I do appreciate
that group, Marion.
Yeah. And the age no longer mentioned group. And I do appreciate hotels that have a bit more seclusion, because the strip, as exciting as it is, can become really overwhelming because the traffic is so horrendous. So it can take you forever to just get in and out of a property, especially if you're trying to do business in Vegas. If you're trying to get outside of your property on the strip, getting in and out can take a long time, and managing traffic on the strip can be annoying, especially during the big conventions. So having a property off the strip, I think also for a lot of business meetings, actually makes it a much more streamlined operation to get groups situated, to access and depart easily, and not get stuck in traffic. And then you can always make time to visit the strip with your guests and show them the strip as a particular activity, an excursion, an add-on. But I like that. I like the Hard Rock for that character, as well as the old Palms. But I think the Palms is also going through changes. So the off-strip hotels, there's new things coming up, and I hope you're going to go and check them all out and tell me more about it.
Of course, yeah. So like 2 more tips if you're considering staying at this hotel. What I did notice, like kind of a 3-minute walk from there, there's a CVS outside the hotel, which is one of these prominent drugstore brands in the US. So you're able to just, if you're out of water, or obviously you can get water at the hotel, but it's always a bit pricier than get at a store. So you're able to get your water there, or your soft drink, or like your snacks, or if you happen to need anything else, like it's all right there. And then especially if you're coming from Germany or you're interested in German culture, the Las Vegas version of the Hofbräuhaus is actually very close by too, so it's walkable from Virgin Hotels. So that's like great brewery food and beers. So if you're into that, but you don't want to go to the strip, just stay at Virgin Hotels and like just walk over to the Hofbräuhaus.
And I've filmed segments at the Hofbräuhaus. It is the only officially licensed Hofbräuhaus, licensed by the one in Munich, with the official pretzels, the beer, the same recipes. So it's a real replica of Munich, and the only one outside of Munich, and the only one that's officially a sanctioned licensed Hofbräuhaus. And so it is, and according to those who really like beer, which is not really my strong point, it's really authentic beer as well. So they fly it all in,
Yeah.
which is
I mean,
amazing.
you can add a non-alcoholic beer too.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much. Can't wait for your next report. I hope you're heading back out on the next site inspection soon.
Sure, yeah, I am. I'm actually planning a new trip right now.
We gotta talk. And everybody else, please subscribe because Laura is roaming. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Bon
Bye.
voyage.